And we had to save the most asked question of all time for the peak.
Drum roll. Let's get to a less windy spot down there.
Okay. We're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married, moved into a van, and have been chasing adventures all around the globe ever since.
Subscribe and join the ride.
After taking to the skies to spend some time in the Sunshine State, celebrating an early holiday with our families, without our van, we found a whole new way to get around town.
We're going so fast!
Even getting Mom to give it a whirl, doing our best to soak in the warm winter sun, eventually returning home to our little rolling sanctuary who had been patiently awaiting our arrival out here in the desert.
Here's our amazing spot out here amongst the cacti. Hi, there I am. Good morning. It's a beautiful day out here.
Welcome to an especially sunny episode here. We're gonna be answering some questions you guys sent us, doing a Q&A today. But before we do that, I gotta get the dust and dirt off these solar panels, get Lucky Blue on the back of our van so you guys can come with us. It's absolutely incredible how much better the solar charges our batteries when there's zero coverage of dirt, snow, leaves, anything on these solar panels.
No. While Drew's been tightening up everything on the outside of our van, getting us ready to roll, I've been packing up our lunches and filling up our camelbacks for the adventure that we have in store to answer the epic questions that you all submitted on YouTube and on Instagram. Thank you guys for participating. We can't wait to share with you our answers. Let's start with Barbara Brunson. She asks, how old are we and what are our birthdays? My birthday is May 6th and Drew's is July 30th. He was born in 1987 and I was born in 1988. And what's really fun about our birthdays is we have this birthday encyclopedia book that we love sharing with our friends. But my birthday is known as the birthday of the sensitive star and Drew's is the birthday of the robust explorer. When you read deeper into those descriptions, it's pretty remarkable how much it relates to us. But seemed like a pretty fun first question for the day. I got a few more things to do though before we can roll.
See if Brittany's ready to roll. Ready to roll, babes?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. The next question is from Sandra and Jason. You guys ask what we're most grateful for, and I have to say I'm most grateful that Brittany and I are always and continuously on the same page with the way we live our lives. Doing van life, living in such a small space together, our morals are the same. Where we love to go and adventures, it's usually not a conflict for us. A lot of you guys who are wishing you had a partner in the van, I gotta say, I'm so grateful that I get to live this life and have such a wonderful partner. Mrs. Adventure, what are you most grateful for?
Put me on the spot. The creator of all things, the health and happiness of ourselves, our friends and our family, our community, the ability to move around and adventure like we do, I guess our strength, recovery from anorexia and being here, living this life, and the limitless possibilities that we have with the choices that we make. We appreciate each other. And I think that that's the fact that we're on the same page about most of the important things in life.
You must not have heard my answer. That's my answer.
Oh.
Being together all the time, living this way, allows us to radiate our joy, share it with you guys.
But we do have our arguments. I think it was the Adventure Closet who asked, what do we disagree about the most? For me, it's like bedtime. I like to go to bed early. I like to have it quiet and dark. He likes to stay up late. The computer light is on or he's reading on his phone in bed and I can like feel the buzz of technology and I cannot fall asleep.
Harry, no! Don't look at the light! I can't help it. It's so beautiful.
He doesn't understand what it's like to be a sensitive sleeper because he's like a bear. He can sleep just about anywhere. But do you disagree with me about a lot of other things? While we let Drew ponder, we want to share something else that we agree on, and that's that taking athletic greens is one of our favorite habits that we have formed together. If you guys are looking for a new healthy habit to integrate into the new year, we can't say enough about athletic greens. We've been taking it for over a year now, every single day. It not only makes us feel strong on our adventures, but it takes care of our gut, our brains, our hormones. It's 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. It's our entire medicine closet in a bottle. We've actually had a lot of you say that you started taking athletic greens because you saw us using it. So please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear how it has maybe helped improve and change your life too. But if you haven't made the big change yet, go ahead and use our link below. You will get 5 bonus travel packs, which is what we take on all of our great outdoor adventures, as well as a full year supply of vitamin D, which is amazing for your immunity. So go ahead, make that change for a stronger and brighter new year. Do you think there's other things we disagree about?
I'm very much an extrovert, and it becomes a little bit difficult when your house is the thing you move around in, and it impacts Brittany where that house goes.
And that's not to say that I don't love spending time with our friends and other people that we meet on the road. It's just 3 things. I'm an introvert, I'm an empath, so I tend to feel a lot and give a lot. I expend a lot of energy with every social interaction, and I am our editor.
She's basically creating these masterpieces that you guys get to enjoy, and we put a lot of work in it together. The editing takes endless hours of time. So proud of you for that.
Thanks.
I have to say, one of the qualities I admire most about Brittany is her discipline and hard work and persistence into things.
I just know that the more time I spend, there's just more creativity and love that gets put into it. And so at a certain point, I have to cut it off because I know that I can be a perfectionist, and I've learned to not let that hold me back from actually putting things out into the world. So it's a balance. Time spent with friends is also a balance. So I'm learning as an introvert-extrovert relationship who live in a van that has to go with us everywhere.
So a big part of it for us is the community and helps us make this work on the road. Speaking of the road, let's hit that dusty trail.
Time to go. Oh, I love cotton fields. I think they're so pretty. This one has not been plowed yet.
These are big old cotton balls.
Yeah. And this is what the fields and bales of cotton look like after they've been harvested. And that really pointy peak up there, that's where we're going. 747 with no wings.
That thing is huge.
I wonder if it's an Airbnb.
Wow.
Next question from BJ Adventures. What little things do you do for each other that keep the relationship happy? I love when Drew scratches my back at night. I love that we say prayers together before dinner. I love being able to cook our meals for him. He surprises me with flowers.
Surprise.
Thank you, babe.
I love you.
Sweet. He also always washes the dishes and never complains. Europe.
We're going to Europe?
And there it was, Picacho Peak. All 1,500 feet of elevation that we would be climbing that day. We're at the trailhead. We're gonna be doing a loop hike, parking the van here, taking Lucky Blue to the other end. I mean, it's kind of crazy. There's cables and some rock climbing sections.
They said to bring gloves.
Yeah, and then we're gonna hike back down, drive Spirit over to Lucky Blue, and then we get to camp here. Meow. Speaking of cats, this was a very popular question amongst you guys. We had Lanessa, Tread the Globe, Elaine. We loved how Temperance Lightfoot worded her question. Brittany, you have mentioned several times that you really love cats. Will you get a cat or several? Does Drew like cats? Please discuss cats. I love them too. Well, when I was little, I was raised as an only child. My twin half-brothers were born when I was 14 years old, but they lived with my dad. But my mom rescued cats, and she still does. So I grew up with 13 brothers and sisters who were all cats. And I cannot wait to have an adventure cat of our own. But I don't want to do that when we're flying back and forth. I don't think that it's fair to an animal to do that. So Drew and I are waiting, and we both kind of say we'll be ready for a pet when we're ready to have children. So we just want a bit more soil underneath our feet so that we can feel grounded and create a safe place for our pet and children to grow up. Oop. Lucky Blue's ready. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Next question.
From the Empty Nest projects. How long did you work on your YouTube before you were sure that you wanted to do that full time? It wasn't our intention to be YouTubers. We go into more detail about all of this when we answer the last question of this video at the peak. But after traveling across Europe in our van for 2.5 years, sharing videos casually here and there, it wasn't until returning to the US in 2018 with the start of building out Spirit that we decided to be consistent. And it wasn't until 2020, the middle of 2020, that our YouTube channel and being Mr. and Mrs. Adventure allowed us to pull in enough income that could cover our expenses.
Exactly. How bad would that hurt?
The lunch spot tree. It's a beauty. The only one around. Being Mr. and Mrs. Adventure, you don't think we could do a Q&A without trying to summit a mountain at the same time, do you? I think that part 2, we might just chillax in the van and have a little more one-on-one time with you, because this is a lot to do. What are your top 3 places you would recommend someone to see in the US?
I would have to say Monument Valley, because we were just there and it was a bucket list for us. Mind-blowing. Number 2,
Yosemite.
yeah, I would have to say Yosemite. Yosemite is pretty stunning. Those granite walls. It's a really good sandwich.
Good. Number 3.
Well, you guys know how big of advocates we are for the outdoor spaces, but in America, I think there is something captivating about going to metropolitan areas and cities. I think everybody should go to New York City once in their lives. Times Square and the lights and the energy, to just understanding the biggest city in all of America.
New York is sort of like a jungle in its own way, isn't it?
How's your lunch over there?
Very good.
Well, I got the next question. Loretta J asks, is there anywhere you haven't visited that you'd still like to visit?
The more places we go and see, the more I feel that there are to go and see.
Is that a U.S. question or a global question?
Global, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, Bali's at the top of our list. I still can't believe we have never been there. But as some of you know, we have a trip that we'll be guiding in May of 2022, which we are still very hopeful will actually happen. The company that has helped organize it with us, they said that 120 days before the trip, that's when they'll make the decision based on how COVID things have been changing, whether or not it's 100% going through. So
we can say going to Portugal, it was pretty amazing to be some of the first people to get back over there after things have been closed for so long. So I think it'd be similar in the case of Bali.
Yeah, I think the locals would be just really grateful to have people who have, taken the proper precautions to explore their country, bring some tourism back, feeling good about Bali, hopefully.
Any other place you're hoping to visit?
India, would love to spend a lot of time there. New Zealand, we have to travel that in a van. And Australia. I'm sure there's lots more, but those are the ones that I can think of right now. And because I think it's important to tackle some of the deeper questions as well, Loretta Jones asks, do y'all see discrimination for any color?
With our worldview from being open and being immersed in so many cultures and having friends of all different backgrounds and skin colors and economic situations, we all are a human race and we should treat each other with kindness. Everybody basically puts their pants on the same way, right?
And if you don't, or you don't like pants, or maybe you prefer a skirt, you do you, and we'll love you for it. We just think that our world needs more acceptance, more diversity and variety. It's the beautiful diversity of our world that makes our planet so incredible, and that just needs to be fostered, especially moving forward with 2022 on the horizon. We can lead by example. Next question. Humble Curious Marie asks, can you please share what shaped you to be the very positive, calm, compassionate, kind human beings that you are today? I'm somewhat new to your channel, so I'm not familiar with your background. Well, welcome to our channel. We're very lucky to have you in this beautiful community of ours. And personally, I have been in recovery from anorexia nervosa for over 14 years now, and that just rocked me to my core. The strength that I was able to draw from my faith. I've also always been a very sensitive person. Every day is somewhat of a struggle for me. I'm victorious, you know, I am a recovery warrior, but that doesn't mean that every day I'm not constantly overcoming different hurdles. And I see that other people are fighting their own battles too. We all have our own lessons and ways that our lives ask us to grow and mature and help other people see their own light and their own way through their own darkness. So that's my story in a nutshell. And as for Drew,
Hey, that's me.
that's you.
I was starting to doze off over here, but you did have a lot of interesting and great nuggets of knowledge there.
Thank you.
I think for me, growing up in a solid family that I guess had a solid foundation, I was expected to go to church every Sunday. Can't say I always loved it at a young age, but grew to appreciate it in a different way and understanding what having that faith and foundation at my core meant, meaning that I could tackle a lot of obstacles in life. If I die tomorrow, I know who I am and what I believe. And I think with love in the household and family, I am an only child with two parents who are still together. I think that brought a lot of certainty and stabilization to my upbringing that I now get to share with Brittany, and I think that helps her with her entire journey because, you know, we're kind of a match in the differences of situations growing up, and we get to both bond over being only children too. So
Love you.
love you too.
Where is it? There. Let's continue our way to the summit and answer some of your questions up there.
We got cables ahead.
That's true.
What do you got to say?
I think the rock I was sitting on had some of those like little prickly fiber cactus hairs because my butt feels like it has 100 little pricklies. I don't think you can see them, but I feel them. To the peak.
That away.
Oh my.
Climb, climb, climb.
Good thing heights are not one of your fears.
Nope. It's really nice they put in these cables to help people up here though.
What are your fears?
My fears? Can I say spider bites? I don't want to get bit by another deadly spider bite like I did in Michigan.
This looks like a spider bite.
You think so? I thought it was just pressure from my backpack.
I don't like it.
Really?
Oh my. Weird.
What you doing? Theft of our home. That'd be a horrible thing to experience. I feel for anybody who's had that happen. Hurting you riding Lucky Blue if we wiped out.
Aww.
So I always take good care of when we're riding together and slow it down, ease it off a notch.
I always appreciate that. I'd have to say my fears are big dogs, especially when I'm going on a run in a new place, but not heights either. Not afraid of heights, luckily, as you can tell.
Gotta love a lady who will do all these adventures. She earns her name all the time. And Bob, if you're watching, you know exactly what I mean.
It just keeps going. Ooh. This way.
We started way over there. Lucky Blue's down that way. Speaking of things scaring you while you were running, next question is, did you guys consider living with Jordan and Kaylee while in Panama?
Of course we considered it. It was the whole reason we went there. We were really stoked to see if maybe their dreamland was our dreamland, and it's a beautiful place. Boquete is absolutely gorgeous, but you have to like wet, windy weather basically year-round.
Here's the platform for the shed.
I left my bag open up there.
It's just a little Baja Reque. Soon we'll have a deck flooring and there'll be a tiny little shed up here.
Very exciting.
Time to go.
Water on the screen.
It's raining. It's not the Panama that you think of in the island version, at least.
We really fell in love with Catalina and Caldera, the warmer, sunnier parts of Panama.
Santa Catalina, to be correct.
But to bring back your point of things scaring me while running, on one of my morning runs through the neighborhood that we were living in, I had one of the coffee plantation workers run up and grab my bum cheek, and he kept his hand on it and ran with me until I could run fast enough away from him. And I mean, even talking about it, I'm like shaking. But Kaylee and Jordan knew. We tried to find the guy. We weren't able to find him. And honestly, after that, I never felt safe or at home in Panama ever again.
Jordan and I were going to teach that guy a lesson.
So there's that. And also we just love the culture of Europe. And we knew that once we got to Panama, we were like, there's just a quelque chose, a joie de vie, something missing. Portugal, even though all that was in French. But I have French heritage. It was my first language. We'll also get to that question. Onwards.
Good question.
Very good question. Very good.
We're so close.
The tippy top. Oh, there's smiley face. That's fun. Good times at the top. Who's gonna get lucky enough to have their question asked up here? Whoa.
Am I following an angel?
I'm on top of the world.
Just kidding, friends. This is not the real summit. The real summit is over here. Let's get up there.
You know how you can really tell which one's the summit? The shadows. There he is. And there he is with Mr. Happy Face. Tink.
My heart is beating. We made it.
We're at the top. You're at the top. We're all at the top. And we had to save the most asked question of all time for the peak.
Drum roll. Let's get to a less windy spot down there.
Okay. I mean, historically, over the years, all of you guys want to know, how do we make money? And how do we plan to get jobs or support ourselves in Portugal? The answer is, we're doing it.
Our mission when we started Mr. and Mrs. Adventure was just to share amazing content, but it was just a side hustle and something we did part-time, and now it's actually sustainable financially.
I think what made all of this possible is the fact that year one of van life, Drew was offered the opportunity to remotely manage a radiology office.
Yeah.
This is the office Drew has to return to quarterly in Michigan, and he will continue to do so wherever our lives take us next. During our 2.5 years of van life in Europe, he was able to fly back each time, and for free. And we did so using credit card points and hustling
we have spreadsheets upon spreadsheets, and basically made our bonus points pay for all of our flights, which was phenomenal.
And then people kept telling us, like, okay, we love reading your blog posts, but make videos. YouTube is where it's at for you. But it was too difficult to do that while we were in Europe in 2016, 17, and 18. We didn't have a Wi-Fi booster or a hotspot. We liked being hippies.
We were just in the moment,
Yeah.
which made it so fond of a memory. And we took a lot of photos back then.
That was our honeymoon, our 2.5-year honeymoon.
Yeah.
And then we came back and we were like, all right, let's build out our first van home. It's the perfect opportunity for us to start being consistent on YouTube. That was 2018. And then starting to get sponsorships with brands, and now opportunities with tourism boards or making commercials for Scott toilet paper.
Yeah, you guys remember that demand for toilet paper in 2020? Well, we got to make a commercial.
We have a lot of jobs that we're doing behind the scenes. We also get opportunities to work with brands through Instagram. I also wrote a book about my recovery story.
Yeah. You've written a couple of magazine articles, and those have been compensated for, so.
Yeah.
Especially with all of your guys' support, watching our videos, helping our channel grow, sharing it with others.
Our patrons.
Our patrons, we couldn't do it without all of you. And thank you for all those donations for pizzas over the year. Anything that you guys have contributed means the world to us.
Blessing bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also have merch. We have a whole new line below us,
Yeah.
and our 2022 photography calendar. And this is just the beginning. We're constantly looking for new ways to develop our brand.
If you guys have an idea for something that you'd love for us to create or develop, like, just let us know. Shoot us an email, leave us a comment. Yeah, we love hearing it from you guys, because you guys have given us so much. And a couple of you behind the scenes have emailed and been so kind. You know who you are. You've really been a sounding board for us for ideas over the years, so thank you.
Yep, we're here for you. We want to create value for you. We're all in this together.
Let's see where this goes. This is a big, grand adventure.
I do want to mention about Portugal is that it's historically a tough country to get a job in. Being a digital nomad in that country is probably the #1 job that I would recommend.
Yeah.
And so we're very grateful that we have put the time into our YouTube now 3 years later to be able to go there and support ourselves. It just feels like the timing is right, because when we fell in love with it in 2018, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So everything happens in its right time.
So a lot of signs and a lot of good momentum moving forward.
So thank you guys for your questions. There are a lot more to answer. There's definitely going to be a part 2.
There definitely has to be a part 2. We did not expect so many questions.
Yeah.
So.
It took me about 6 hours to organize your questions. So that's another thing that happens behind the scenes.
So the sun's setting, we're on this peak. We still have a long ways to go down, climb back over a mountain saddle, and get to our van, then pick up Lucky Blue.
We'll see you guys back in spirit.
See you back at the van.
That's where we were camping. We were camping somewhere.
Way out in those mountains.
Oh, we're out there.
In the valley between the mountains.
Yeah.
Look at the shadow growing.
Now we're on top of the tippy top. We did it together.
That is a very dark mountain now. We came down from the top up there on the left side. And we are grateful to be back in the van now.
Made it just in time, I think. We get to pick up Lucky Blue now.
I'm grateful we're staying here and camping in the campground.
Thank goodness.
Be sure to subscribe and tap that bell so you don't miss part 2 of this Q&A and so much more.
And sometimes we drive home separately. Just one of the ways we create space for each other living in the van. We do love Lucky Blue.
And we do love you too. See you soon.